Good morning, children. Welcome to the online class of Sharma Residential Public School. We have started with the last chapter, that is under the improvement in food resources. We have studied about the agriculture sector, which comes under the topic of green revolution. Then, in the previous class, I just introduced to the second option of obtaining the food there. That is, animals also act as a source of food there. And that branch, which deals with the source of animals, is called animal husbandry. So, animal husbandry can be defined as the branch of biology which deals with C, that is caring, S, sharing, or sheltering you can tell. Then F, feeding and breeding. Caring, sheltering, feeding, and breeding are the 4 points to be taken into consideration when we are going for animal husbandry. Then, what are things what can be included under animal husbandry? We have included the cattle, we have included the poultries, we have got the fishes, we have got the honeybees there. So, we are going to learn the same thing there, and we have started with the need for animal husbandry. This is acting as an alternate source of food apart from the plants as a source there. So, depending on the animals acting as a food there, we have got the people graded or people bifurcated as non-vegetarian. So, we are going to go for the today's topic, that is the cattle farming. Now, when I say about cattle, what are the things you are going to include there? Cattle farming is being done mainly for two purposes. And first and foremost, it is milk. Everybody knows milk is the most consumed product what is being obtained from the animals or from the cattle there. And second option or second purpose for what the cattle farming is being done is in the broth animals. So cattle animals are acting as the broth animals. Now, when I say the milk producing animals and the broth animals, they are being grouped into different categories. But before we go for the grouping of the animals based on what they eat, let us see the two types of cattle what can be included. So, cows and buffaloes. Cows and buffaloes are being included under the cattle, and I have given an assignment. I did not get the answer from the students there. The scientific name of cow is Bos indicus. You have to keep in mind the name of the species will be in small letter, the name of the genus will be in capital letter. Both have to be underlined separated. So, according to the taxonomy or according to binomial nomenclature, what is the rule there? The name of the species will be in capital letter and the name of the species will be in small letter. Both have to be underlined separated. Then, same way, when you go for the buffalo there, it is Bos vivalis. So, cows and buffaloes both belong to the same genus, that is Bos. But Indicus is the species of the cow there, and Vivalis is the species of the buffaloes. So, cows and buffaloes both will be included under the cattle farming. Then, so milk producing animals are called as milch animals. So we will be having the two varieties of the animals in it. The milch animals, they produce the milk there. These milch animals are also called as dairy animals. Dairy farming you might have heard. So that is the word cattle farming. Instead of telling cattle farming, some people use the word as dairy farming. So milk producing animals are called as milch animals, and here you need to keep in mind the female has the capacity of producing the milk. The word what you are going to define. What are milch animals? Milch animals means the females which produce milk are called as milch animals. They are also called as dairy animals. Now when I say draught animals, the animals they are exclusively used for the purpose of working cattle or working cattle are called as the draught animals. The various works which are being carried out by the animals are chilling, plowing, land ready for the sowing purpose or for the agriculture purpose. You'll be just making the soil loose there. Plowing is nothing but the method of removing the unwanted weeds there, the unwanted plants, that is nothing but the weeds related. And one more is nothing but cutting. Now, what exactly is river farming? In the previous section, when I was explaining about the agriculture sector, I used a term called as the irrigation. For irrigation, we have got a different sources. That is simple. One of the sources is the river lift system. In case of river lift system, we are making use of the animal size center. So what will happen? Carting is a different process wherein you have got the beehive system. This beehive system has got the small buckets there, and this will be taken care by the animals, and those are the farming processing. I repeat, children, today we are starting with the cattle farming. Cattle farming is also called as a dairy farming. There are two things what can be included under the cattle farming, that is the cows and the buffaloes there. Scientific name is very important, that is Bos indicus and Bos bovalis for the cows and the buffaloes respectively. Then, depending on why we are making use of the cattle, that is the purpose for the which the animals are being used. First one is the milk producing animals, or you can call them as the milk animals. And second is the drought animals. What are milk animals? One more question is there for the textbook there, or the textbook question there. Milk animals are the dairy animals. These are going to produce the milk there. So please don't forget to use the word as the females which produce milk are called as milk animals. And for the drought purpose, you have got the three things to be noted there. Flowing is there, chilling is there, and cutting is there. Then, when I say about the dairy animals there, these dairy animals are being taken into consideration based on what breed. We will go to the word breed. It is parallel to the word what is being termed as variety. In case of agriculture sector, a particular strain, a particular type of variety is being taken. This variety has got some special characters to be noted there. So when you come to the word called as the animals there, the word variety will be replaced by breed. So dairy animals are going to vary or are going to change according to the particular state. Why these are going to vary according to the state is nothing but the animals are again divided into two based on the adjustment of the animals according to the particular climate or the temperature. So let me give you examples of the dairy animals. Then let me go for the particular breed there. When we go for the dairy animals, you have to remember, let us start with our state there, that is Karnataka. In case of Karnataka, the most preferred dairy animal is the Amrit Monal. Okay? Then in case of Gujarat and Rajasthan, the most preferred is the Gir. Gir is a breed of the cattle which is being taken, and that is in case of Gujarat and Rajasthan there. So next is in case of the breed called as Sahiwal. Sahiwal is seen in case of Punjab. The state where this breed is being used is the word Punjab, UP, and Haryana. Okay? So you should remember, according to the state wise, how they are going to change there. And one more is river, Red Sindhi. Many times we use the word as only Sindhi. That is the red Sindhi there because of the coloration of the body there. In case of Andhra. Okay. So this is how the animal breed will be taken into consideration, and obviously whenever we are going for the local varieties, what happens? Now I'm going to tell about the varieties there. The breeds can be bifurcated as a local breed and a foreign breed. So the breeds are of two types. First one, that is called the local breed. Local breed is also called as indigenous breed. I repeat, local breeds are also called as the indigenous breed. These are nothing but the type of cattle which are resistant for a particular disease. Okay, so under the local breed, we are going for the animals, and they are being termed as the example for the local breed. We can take all these animals which are particular for a particular or which are particular for a state, for the respective state. What is the local breed of Karnataka? It will be Amrit. What is the local breed of a particular state means you can tell about the breed there. So what examples are given here? You can take the same example because you are indicating a particular state and bifurcating or dividing the animals there. So let me take again here Amrit Mahal with respect to our state. So local is also being termed as indigenous and they have got a resistance for a particular disease. Resistance means it is capable of fighting against a particular disease. Then P1 is nothing but the exotic breed. Exotic breed is nothing but a foreign breed. These breeds are mainly targeted for the production of the milk there. So, exotic breeds or foreign breeds have got a very high lactation period. Means the production of the milk is for a very longer duration, or you can tell they have got very high lactation period. Period means the time for which they are going to produce milk is for the lactation period. Under this, the most common or very famous way to be heard there is the river Jersey. Everybody has heard about Jersey there. Jersey milk you better in there. This has got, it is a foreign breed and it is being exploited for the production of the milk there. Apart from Jersey, you have got one more variety that is called as brown Swiss. Swiss brand you can remember, that is another Swiss there. So you have to remember what is the difference between the local breed and what is the difference between the exotic breed. Local breeds are nothing but they produce milk there and they are capable of adjusting themselves to a particular area. And when you are going to the exotic breed, these are nothing but brought from different places and they are being brought for our state or for our country mainly because they have got a high amount or high production or high lactation period there. So Jersey and Brown is pure. So we have studied the milking animals and they are nothing but the dairy animals. Under this, we have studied the breeds of the animals there. The breeds of the animals are being classified as local breed and exotic breed. Now, coming to the broad animals. These are mainly targeted for the production of work there. And when we come for the broad animals, Haligal is a broad animal which is seen in our state, that is Karnataka. And when you go for Malvi, it is a broad breed which is being found in case of Rajasthan. Okay, it is a broad breed used in case of a particular state, Rajasthan, and to some extent it is seen in Madhya Pradesh also. So, you should be able to remember the animals depending on whether they are mixed animals or the broad animals. For example, if I say Sindhi, Saiwal, Jersey and Malvi, then your answer will be or Malvi because this is exclusive for broad animals. Okay, so if you are taking a particular cattle or if you are taking a particular dairy animal there, then what happens? Dairy animals is exclusive for milk there. Also being called the mixed animals. Then we have to remember only females are being exploited because they have got the primary glands to produce the milk there. And when you are going for broad animals, they are exclusively used for work purpose. The work can be cleaning or it can be towing or it can be carving. TPC. That is how you are going to remember. Then next we are going forward. So factors we care first and foremost. Clean the shelter. So the shelter has to be kept clean. This is the limit. Removing the dirt and loose hair from the animal's body. Okay. So first I said about the environmental condition. Yeah, how should we clean them? Okay. The next is even animal you should be clean them. How do we take care of our cleanliness then? It is by regularly taking bath and keeping the body free from microorganisms. Same way, removing the dirt and the loose hair from the animal's body by brushing. If you have seen the animals who are being taken care by the person there, what happens? They will be regularly checked. That is simple. If any of the dirty things are there, which are being found adhering to the body or sticking to the body of the animals, that will be removed there. Then loose hair. If you have got the hair, especially for the tail area and all, what happens? The loose hair will be removed by brushing the animal's body. Then third is in fact proper ventilation. Proper aeration you can do. Proper aeration of the place where the animals are being kept there and taking care for heat, cold and rain. So when you are staying at home then your cleanliness at the home surface is very important. You being clean, that is very important there. Then the amount of the light energy which is being entering your house, that also is very important there. Always if your house is being considered as dark, then what happens? You don't feel like working or you become more lazy there. So that means what happens? Always you go for sleep there. Same way the animals have to be taken care properly by proper aeration you can do or you can do the ventilation also. So how do we ventilate our houses and all? In the form of the doors and the windows there. And even talk about the ventilators in the proper surface of the home structure there. So that will allow the proper movement of the air you can do or you can do the light there. So ventilation when you are taking care for the animals, you need to keep three things in mind. It should not be either too hot for the animals because they will be very difficult with respect to temperature. They have got more temperature of their body also. Then cold. If they have got too much of cold there, then the body functions or they will not be able to perform the physiological functions very properly there. And obviously when it is rain there, that also disturbs the animals. So what are the factors which have to be taken care at the level of maintenance is very important. Next, after the shelter, obviously we will be thinking of food there. Food requirements for the captives. When we are looking for the food requirement of the captives, first one is required for maintenance. When I say for maintenance, it is to support the life processes or perform the biochemical activities. What is a normal food? What happens usually? rice. This is the basic need or the basic food which is helping for supporting my lifestyle. If you have seen the poor people at the sun area and all, what they'll be telling if they have got the roti and if they have got the dal there, that will be satisfying their need. Because they need to maintain themselves or they need to keep their survival into going there or ongoing process there. First one is for the maintenance. Second one, if you have seen a woman carrying and she has delivered the baby there, so what happens after the delivery? She needs to feed the baby also. Baby drinks only the milk there. Her food items or her food will be supplemented with a high amount because her lactation period is going on. So second one for lactation purpose. I repeat, children, food requirements in case of cattle. What is the reason why I have taken the female there? I told you, in case of cattle, the female has got the capacity of producing the milk there. Then, maybe you have not seen the cattle at the very closer extent during the process of milking or during the process of lactation there. At least you might have seen a woman carry. Then, when she delivers, the infant is going to feed on the mother's milk. So, what happens? Now, this mother has to be taken with special care. Why? Because she has to be or she should be capable of producing the milk there. So, during the lactation period, for producing milk. So, the requirement of the food depends on for what she has to be concentrated. Obviously, she will get the basic need for maintenance, whatever is required, she will have that. Apart from that, she will be supplemented with the extra amount of energy or extra source of energy. Same way, when you take the cattle also. The cattle will be supplemented with the extra amount of energy for producing the milk. Then, what are the different types of animal feeds we are going to go there? Means what you are going to feed for the animals depending on what the concentration is going on. So every day you have got the two types there that you need to remember. Two types of cattle, 1000 Example, Bos indicus and Bos ducalis. Then I told about the two breeds, that is the local breed and the exotic breed. Local breed is also called as indigenous breed and exotic breed is the foreign breed. So, whatever variety we are getting in terms of breeding, I said you that we go for hybridization in case of the plants there. But when you go for the animals there, breeding is being done. What is being done there? Cross breeding. What is meant by cross breeding? The local breed is crossed with the exotic breed. So, local breed is capable of fighting these diseases. The foreign breed is having the capacity of create a hybrid. This hybrid, both the qualities, will be capable of fighting against the diseases and it is capable of producing more milk. Is it clear? So, hybridization term of plants is replaced by cross-breeding in case of the animals. That you need to keep in mind. And in case of agriculture sector, we have an advanced step that is being classified as genetic engineering. So when you go for isolating a particular gene and introduce it into the animal's body, that technology or that process is called as genetic engineering. You are engineering the genes. Same way, when we go for the animals, same genetic engineering can be obtained there. Whatever you are thinking of injecting into the animal's body or into the hybrid body, then that can be done there. Same genetic engineering helps in case of the animals also. But two terms are slightly different. Hybridization is exclusive for the plants there, and for animals we will it as breeding. So the past tense of breed is bred. Many times students will write the eating bread. Spelling is to be noted. So past tense of the process what you are carrying out is called as cross breeding. Means you are forcing the animals to reproduce or to follow the process of reproduction. So that type of reproduction is called as breeding process. Under the supervision of a person or a supervisor, the animals will go for the process of reproduction, that is called as breeding process. And breed is the particular variety what are having in case of the animals. Same like in case of animals, in case of plants, you have got the strain, you have got the variety. Here we will have particular breed. Now, what are the food sources? How the food sources are different? There are again two types of food sources. The first one is nothing but roughage. You have learned in your 8th chapter, roughages are also being called as fiber. So, the type of food source which contains high amount of fiber and very low amount of nutrients. I repeat, the food variety or the food sources are of two types. First one is liver roughage. We know that roughages are also being called as fiber. So, the food sources which contain the high amount of the fiber and low amount of nutrients are being called as roughage. Example for this gathering is nothing but green powder. For the facts are being always given, that is the green grass what we call them. It can be from the jawar, it can be from the wheat, it can be from the sugar cane there. It is being finely chopped or finely cut there, and that is the green powder. And second is the silage, the leafy components. It can be from any of the agricultural product, is termed as a silage. And other is given hay. Hay is the dry form of the powder you get there. The straws and all also will be given there. And another is given legumes. Is it clear? So the first food source is nothing but rubbish, high amount of fiber and low amount of nutrients. And the best example for the rubbish is the green powder. When we have gone for the types of the food there, depending on what they give, I just give the example of fodder crops. Fodder crops are exclusively coming for the animals category. So under that you have to go for the same topic. What are fodder crops? That is because we have gone for the grass and one is because bastion. So now we are having the same thing in the form of food sources. So food sources means these type of the fodder crops are going to eat much of the fiber. That is because of roughage. Second one. Second type of food source is the concentrates. Concentrates are just now reversed. They are going to give high amount of proteins, or you can tell high nutrients, and low fiber. Is it clear? So, what are the things which are being given by the farmer to take care of these dairy animals are usually what combination, what are the traits which are being left out, or what are the traits we feel like to give them the extra energy. This extra energy is again to increase the amount of milk production there. Here we can go for the cereals. All this in the form of powder will be given for the animals there, or it can be in the form of cake there. Okay, all these cereals and all these products which are being left over after our harvesting process has been taken there, and you don't feel like cleaning them there. So what happens? Roughly, the agricultural products along with the extra components there, cereals are there, baja also is being taken there. All these things are mixed along with oil and some amount of jaggery. Okay, how we make all the laddus there? That is like the jaggery laddu by adding whatever the dry fruits are there. That is like groundnut also can be taken there. Same way, concentrates are required the second source of the food, which is going to yield the high amount of the proteins there. Cereals are being taken, bajra is being taken. To some extent, pulses also will be added there. or this for the fixation or to make it in the form of a bit wetness there, little of oil also will be added. Oil also gives energy for the animals then. If you have seen the cows and buffaloes, more than the roti, they eat chapati very heartily because of oil is being there. And if a bit of source of extra energy in the form of glucose is being given, that is like the chapati. So the food sources are two types. First one is the fish and second one is the plant. So the fourth chapter, that is even if you have not taken care very properly, we fall ill there. Same way, the animals are also going to fall ill there. Balanced diet keeps the animals healthy. If the health of the person is deteriorating, then what happens? There is some variation in the food there. This food variation leads to less immunity or what you call as the condition in which the organism may fall ill. Same way, balanced diet or balanced ration is very important for the proper condition of the animals there. It can be the milching animals or it can be the drought animals also. Now, various diseases of cattle. So, what are the various diseases of the cattle? Before we go for the diseases of the cattle, you have to remember diseases can be because of bacteria. It can be because of fungi also, fungal infection. Sometimes you can see the cows and buffaloes with the fungal infection there, and they have got even the viruses. So you have got the viral diseases in case of the animals there. Then last year we have studied about bacteria. That is like the bacteria disease of the cows and buffaloes. That is called anthrax. The very important contribution of Robert Koch printer. So Bacillus anthracis is nothing but the bacteria which causes the problem in case of the cattle. It can be the cows and the buffaloes. So what happens in case of anthrax? The tongue and the feet will be usually affected by the blisters. Blisters are nothing but ulcers you can tell. Okay. What happens when you have got mouth ulcers? You will not be able to eat it with a spicy item, or you will not feel the food as very tasty, especially if it is to the edge area of your tongue. Then what happens? Always will be salivation there. Always you have the mouth in the case of watery condition there. Same way, when the diseases of cattle are being seen there, I am taking one of the example called as anthrax. Here, the tongue of the cattle may contain blister, or the feet of the animal may contain blisters. When you walk barefoot without any the footwear there, and if it is being considered as summer season, then what happens? You get the blisters for the foot region. Or if you have got the new shoes, that time also you will be getting the blisters. You will not be able to walk very properly. Here, in case of the animals, they will not be able to stand very properly. Then fungal infection is nothing you can see. If there are some changes in the body structure or the skin structure, then we can identify the animals with the fungal infection there. Then viral infection. We have studied about smallpox. We have studied about cowpox. So cowpox is going to affect the cows there, and it can affect the human beings also. So don't go with the name as cowpox is only specific for the cattle there. It is going to affect the humans also. So this was a very important contribution of Edward Jenner, what he studied here, and that is how the derivation of vaccine came into existence. So cowpox and rinderpest. Rinderpest is not being mentioned, but this is the most common which is seen in the cattle. So this will be the extra information what you are going to note down there. So viral infection are cowpox and the rinderpest there. Fungal infection are to be seen in case of the skin diseases or the skin problem in people, and bacterial infection are given the example of the anthrax. So we came to the conclusion that how human beings have got the problem for the disease, same way the cattle also have got the problem for the disease. And the various groups of the organism which causes disease are bacterial, fungi, and viral. Now we are going to go for the organism which causes disease in case of cattle are being termed as parasites. Whether it can be for feeding or it can be for the purpose of shelter. Last year you have learned food and shelter. The organism which depends on the host for both is called as total parasite, and for only one, either of the one, it is called as semi-parasite. We are going for the same thing now. The parasites in case of the disease based on whether they are inside the body or outside the body. Then. So internal parasite, the word internal is written endoparasite. So endoparasites are usually going to affect the cattle in case of stomach, and we have studied in the diversity that is because there are worms and flukes. Liver fluke, what do you call it? Okay, liver fluke belonging to the file number 3 is going to affect the cattle. That is why goats and sheep has studied there. So what is happening here? Internal parasites are given the parasites which are going to cause disease to the cattle there. How we have got the tapeworm in case of the human beings. We have got the variety of worms which are going to affect the stomach as well as to some extent the small intestine also. Okay, name the two organs which are going to which can be harmed by the internal parasite in case of cattle will be the stomach and the intestine. Name the two group of organisms which can infect will be the worms and the flu. Clear? Then the last one is under the external parasite. When I say the external parasite there, the name is written there. These are the parasites which are found outside the body or on the body of the cattle there. Under this category, you have got the lice, you have got the mites. Lice and mites. If you have got the pet animals in your household, if you are not very close to the cattle, at least you might have seen the cat, dog, and the cats and the dogs there. What happens, especially on the dogs there, you will see small lice there. Lice are going to trouble the dog to a very great extent. Sometimes it gets irritated there and it keeps on scratching itself or scratching itself there. That is mainly because of the lice in. Mites are a smaller group of organisms which can infect the organism. So today we have studied about the various group of organisms that is included the cattle. I'm going to brief what we have studied today because we have completed the first category of the animal husbandry, that is the cattle farming is completed. So how to remember the things, I just give a last summary there. When I say the word cattle, you can include C and B, that is cow and the buffalo there. So when I say cow, you can remember I, that is indigenous, B, blueberries. Don't make the mistake, both will come in a small letter. Two types of the cattle. Then next we came to the two types of the cattle based on for what purpose they are being cultivated or they are being taken. First one is the milk animal, also called as the dairy animal. Here you have to keep in mind the female is being excluded. Second one, it is into the broad animals. Please remember how the variation or what are the various examples for which breeds of the cattle are the local breed, also one called as an indigenous breed, and the exotic breed, also called the foreign breed. Resistance for disease breed. And when we are going for the exotic breed, also called as foreign breed, we are mainly concentrating them for the production of the milk, that is lactation. Okay. Then how to take care? That's the management is there. Three things have to be kept in mind. The place where they are being kept, there is an infrastructure of the cattle have to be very, very clean. Maintenance is very important. Second is taking care of the animals. Their body should be free from the loose hair and the dirty items there or the dirt you can get. Third is something that proper ventilation is very necessary there. Proper aeration to see that the normal temperature within the shed is being maintained. The place where called is like the cattle shed. The shed has to be free from the water, should not be disturbing the animals. Then you have got the two types of food what should be given. First is given for supporting their life, what is being known as for maintenance. The normal type of food what is being considered. Secondly, if the cattle are carrying or for the lactation period there, for lactation. This is also again two in number. Okay. Then two types of food based on what they are going to provide it. So this one called as concentrates or right? Then lastly, it is about the diseases there. Diseases are because of parasites, and here I conclude with the topic called as external parasites and internal. So, by this, we have completed the cattle farming there. In tomorrow's class, we will be starting with the poultry farming there. We will be concentrating mainly on the hens and the ducks there. You have got the poultries which have been seen around Gulbarga or around your houses and all that. Wherein how the things will be taken care by them or how they have to be taken care that we are going to study in the tomorrow's topic. Thank you children. Stay home, stay safe.